Welcome to Inspired by Design, the podcast where we explore the tools, stories, and insights to help you rediscover your authentic self and navigate life with less resistance. I'm Katie Rupert, a former hustle and grind overachiever on a thrilling and messy journey. I love to share what I'm learning and help others in self-discovery using human design. So if you're seeking a way to move forward, let me be your weekly mindset coach and share stories to inspire you to action towards your unique purpose without the force or burnout. So glad you're here this week. I am excited to introduce you to our guest today, Priyanka Khandalkar, a transformational business scaling coach, author of Wings of a Woman, and host of the top 1% globally ranked show Up with Priyanka podcast. As founder of scaling agency Synergy LLC and former business mastermind coach for Tony Robbins and Dean Grazowski, Priyanka has helped over 1,200 businesses scale with strategy, soul, and sustainable systems. Priyanka is an engineer turned entrepreneur and certified director of operations. She has served as chief operating officer and director of operations for multiple 6, 7, and 8-figure businesses. Recognized as a top woman influencer and one of the top 15 business coaches, she empowers heart-led entrepreneurs to turn vision into impact while balancing purpose, alignment, and joy. Priyanka, thank you for being here. Welcome.
Thank you for having me, Katie. I'm so grateful to be here.
Me too. And it was a long time coming. So I'm so excited to introduce our listeners to you. And one of the things we do here on this podcast, since I look through the lens of human design, I want to introduce you also as a pure generator. That's a sacral led generator, someone who is meant to do things that are a full bodied yes. Like if it's a heck yes for you and you respond and your body's like, yeah, let's do that. That looks good. Then that is your next right step. And because your authority and that inner wisdom from your body is pure sacral energy, you don't have to sleep on it. If it's a heck yes for you, it's the right step and you can just start moving towards it without overthinking. And I love that for you. And I love that we have that in common. And I know from just the short time that we've met that there's been a journey and we've both kind of gone through this little bit of spiritual awakening piece to learn how to listen to our bodies, to learn how to listen and tune into that language of intuition and give it credit where it's due, not only listening to our brains. So that's so exciting to have a fellow generator on board to have this conversation with. And then finally, the third foundational piece with human design is that personality. And yours came up as a 4-6. So that is the networker and the opportunist, someone who's community minded and really good at matchmaking people and knowing what fits together and how it's going to work together, paired with someone who has both experiential wisdom and observational wisdom. You can really get in there and get your hands dirty and make some mistakes that you learn some of your biggest pieces of wisdom from, but also you're able to see how things work together. And therefore it gives you this almost Buddha or Jesus quality where you get to have these beautiful examples, maybe through metaphor, maybe through things you've experienced, where people can glean little pieces of wisdom. And it may not even be what you planned for them to learn, but it's just a really beautiful combination of someone who really serves others and can lead with gentle leadership and help people take those next steps. So does that sound like you?
Oh, wow. Wow. Yes, it does. And thank you for doing this, Katie. I love it. Wow.
Good, yeah.
I feel it's very much like that. As you said, it's like my intuition, what is telling me right now, and my own experiences and observations. And yeah, I am very much like taking actions on what my heart is calling. And now it has changed over years of my experience working as an engineer and then becoming an entrepreneur, then becoming a burnout entrepreneur, and then now having this business of mine. I feel like so happy in it every day because the way I have set it up. and the way it is run. I have let go of so many pieces that I might be holding on to as an entrepreneur when we start. So it's just a very different way of I do business now. It's more of like flow and surrender, and like less the divine timing make its manifestation on time. So
Yeah. Oh, I'm so excited about this conversation. There's so many uh overlapping things that I feel like we may have both experienced, and then we have that take on it. Man, we could take our conversation lots of different ways. Like,
mhm,
um, when you grow a business too fast, like what are we missing out on, or where intuition gets lost if you're trying to hustle, or we could talk
mhm,
about like what is overwhelm really telling us. And I hopefully we'll be able to touch on some of all of those things, 'cause I know you're an expert in all those areas. But really, at the heart of it, I think it's going to be really cool for our listeners to hear your story from this fast paced, overworked, burnout. Give us the highlights of that journey from your hustle to flow, and
mhm.
give us a picture of who you are and what you feel like is important to know about you. Because I also have to say, as a four in human design, you're the person who we really want to know the behind the scenes, and when we feel connected to you, we can really hear your message. So, what do you feel like is important for people to know about you? I'll just kind of let you share, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, so as a child, Katie, I have been always this curious person, like how things move, how things work.
Mm.
And probably that was the reason I became an engineer. And of course, in India, I came from India to do my master's here back in 2008. But in India, your parents only give you two choice, like engineer or doctor.
Mm.
I remember I had a crush on a guy who selected engineering. So I was like, okay, let me just do engineering. Like that
Oh,
was
we
me
get
as a
I love
teenager.
that.
That was the choice. Like, oh, like some of my friends were going in that direction, and also my crush was going in that direction. So I was
It's a
like,
no
okay,
brainer then.
no brain. I followed my intuition and my heart there.
Yeah.
Um, so I stepped into engineering, and then I came to US to do my master's in Michigan, in Kalamazoo. After doing that, my first internship was in Volkswagen. It was interesting. I was their first hire in this new manufacturing plant they selected. And I went as an intern. I did so good. I did like 10 times more than they expected because of my creative problem solving. I've always been observing, and I'm trying to bring this creativity into everything, right? It's not like, okay, structure, you follow this curriculum in engineering and you do it like that. No, I've been always like this, like I bring this creativity, and creativity for me is like a flow, right? I'm also very good with communication. I will have like this network of friendships, and there has been time in my life like where I have like 100 quality issues to solve in a manufacturing plant. I have also worked in John Deere where they make this big harvesting machine, those combines which harvest crops, which has 70,000 parts. And sometimes I will get 100 complaints to solve. And by afternoon, I will have a solution for them already solved because I had the network of people. I was really good at communication. And I just have this gift of making great friendships. So my journey has been like really shining star, a woman engineer. You will not find any woman engineer there. It's normally men
Mhm.
dominate there. I also had experiences of people calling me like baby doll because I look so young, right? I
Mhm.
also had challenging times like some of the men will challenge me. They will think like I don't know what I'm doing because I look so young, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Like 20s, early 20s, doing all this amazing work, having a hard hat, going out there, getting my hands greasy. Like I was always the one who will get into the machines and get and do things and have to know by myself. I will, it's someone tells me a fact, I have to go and check it by myself. Is that truly a
Uh,
fact? Right. So I was always that kind of a woman. I have been always the top of my game, always. Even during the performance, I will over exceed and I will always have my facts ready. So I have been always that masculine, so analytical, right? But I always knew, regardless of my title, I am a leader.
uh,
And I always stood out like that. I had my early mentors, leadership coach, Anis Kavanagh. From her, I learned the intentional, energetic presence leadership. And I embody that in every interaction, every work I did in corporate. And then later, I also became certified as director of operation. And that's when I left corporate world because I had gained this confidence, like because I have been trying many different hustles. I have been selling baby products on Amazon. I was selling rustic furniture on Amazon, doing all this side hustle. But I was like, I want to leave. I can't work for someone 9 to 5. So I always had some side hustle going on. But then somehow I learned about like I'm really good at project management. Someone pointed that out. And then I was like, okay, I need to get this certification of director of operations. And once I got that, during that same time when I was in corporate, I also joined Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi's program. And I became one of their best student. I became so good that they hired me as their coaches to train people all around the world. They are the world's best coach. So I don't have any certification in coaching, but I got trained by them, right?
Yeah.
So I have been always that person. I will go to the best coach, best people to learn things. And I'm like, I have to learn from the best. So I became the best. So that's where I learned from Tony Robbins. And then I joined their coaching team to coach others. And I coached more than 1,200 different individuals. So all this happened. Then I got certification of director of operation. I left my corporate. In 30 days, I got my first client as a fractional director of operations. And then I became fractional chief operating officer. So I started working with many multiple small businesses and started helping to scale them. And I remember one of the things what I felt was one-on-one, you can only do so much, right? I have to scale beyond this. This is not working for me. I need to find more balance, more structure. I was more hustler, like I was just so analytical coming from engineering world and going into small businesses. And interestingly, I started working with a lot of spiritual coaches in like different kind of somatic writing. But over the time, what I felt was like I went through this whole spiritual awakening journey in recent time in last 3 4 years. There's so many things I've done in between there. I also was doing 100% in-person travel business, considering all the brick and mortar for like 1 or 2 year. Like I got a different kind of experience working from startups to 8 figures in different lenses, different niches, right? And every industry I found they were all so burned out, and I was burned out serving them. But eventually, what I found out, like all the training I have received over these years, whether it's intentional energetic presence of how to lead yourself and your team, but also my own journey of spiritual awakening has really made me not overthink. I'm like, let's just put it out there what we want, our goal, and let like not be attached to when that result will happen, but do your work, right? And then create structure in your business. And that's where I talk about my delegation and automation workbook, which is a gift for everyone who's listening, but that helps to delegate all the noises and distractions so that you can work on the things that lights you up.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
So that's where I am now. I do everything which lights me up. And now I'm sitting in my healing center. I also opened a crystal store healing center. I have an amazing spiritual teacher. She took me through this whole spiritual awakening path, and I'm aligning to my ancient gifts, which I'm supposed to bring every lifetime in this world. And that's where I'm going. That's my next phase of my journey. But the agency which I started, Synergy, I feel it has more bigger impact in the world. Right now, it's serving clients with all their back-end operations and everything. But I know there's bigger things happening.
Oh, I would love to compare notes on what some of those gifts are with your human design chart. As you were talking, I just kept thinking, yeah, true high achiever. And as I stare here at your body graph, you have this ego center lit up, it's a more rare one to have. And you have the gift of marketing and sales. And what that really looks like is it's where the best of the best meets being able to share what you have to offer in a way that whoever the person is can receive it and want it without feeling salesy or slimy or anything like that. And to see that you have that gift and to hear about your journey from truly, you have plenty that you've proven I can do this. And also with being able to handle pressure and being able to know and do it your own way, be someone that stands out in a crowd, which I mean, come on, if you're the only woman engineer around, right? You doing it your way, like you've embodied what your chart says, and also in there listening to the body and softening the balancing act, right? We aren't just one-sided. And so you're really leaning into, all right, I did that part. So let's go ahead and soften up and let me find the same success, if you will. The word success might change by definition as you grow, but you're finding a new way to do success. So you're doing the same thing in a different approach. And I think that lights me up. I love hearing your story. And I guess when you think about scaling, the word scaling to me, it's like, oh, okay, well, I really want to make a lot of money. Like that's the only thing I think of. And I know that people in entrepreneurial spaces, they want to be successful because this is their baby. This is their heart. This is something like, I got to do this. It's in me. And it takes courage to start a business and to go out there. And of course, we don't want it to fail. And not only do we not want it to fail, but having that mindset of like, I want it to scale. So talk to me a little bit about how did you know, okay, it's time, like you shared in your story there. I knew I couldn't do it one to one. I needed to scale. So how are you looking at that in a mindset that is softer, that isn't just hustle? I'm because I know it's hard to switch over. So what
Yeah.
are your tips for being able to build a business that's sustainable over time without without that hustle? Because I feel like that's kind of hard because all I know is hustle. Oh,
Yeah.
gee, girl.
This is so important, Katie. And I feel like one of the things that has changed in me, Katie, is like we have this industry standards. This is industry template to scale, right? There's so many books written on it. There's so many YouTube videos out there, right? But what I feel, each of our journey is unique.
Mm,
What might work for me might not work for you. And what works for you, Katie, might not work for me, right? So we have, and why that is true, because we each have such a unique skills and capability, right? And we also have a very unique way of connecting with people, right? Some people connect by going to networking event, and some people are like introvert. I don't want to go to networking event. I love to go on podcast where I can connect with people, and that's how I reach my audience, right? Now, podcast is like you can be introvert and you will do so good in podcast, right? Because it's like it's deeper conversation, vulnerable conversation. In networking, you have to show sometimes a face where like it's different, right? It's not you're calling in that person. Podcast is intentional, right? So for me, scaling is very intentional. It's more of alignment with where you are right now. So right now, I am a single mama. I have a daughter, 8-year-old daughter, amazing, beautiful soul. I also have multiple different passionate projects going on, like this healing center, which I have to grow. I have to have more space to connect with this place and to make it the temple it is for others to come to heal themselves. And then I have this agency, which I have to run. I have a team of 8. For me, my season looks like that, right? And I also have other things going on in my life, which can take so much of my time. So for me, what I do, I always go back to like last 1 or 3 years and I will do an audit of what light me up, what light my soul up, whether it's marketing strategy, sales strategy, what systems, right? Everything. I will go to the T, okay? And what felt too exhausting.
mm,
I knew for me what felt too exhausting is doing those sales conversation in DM,
mhm,
right? Like just going and cold and like just I could not feel I did not feel that energy aligns with my soul. So there are so many different things which did not feel aligned to me. I did not feel aligned to like just doing 100% social media. I shifted into more email nurturing. I shifted into more being on podcast. I'm always adding new ways of doing things which aligns with where I am today. And then I scale from there. And scaling also means that there's something called rubber band effect.
Sure.
Katie, I'm not sure. Have you heard about it?
Mhm.
So, yeah, rubber band effect. And it's more of like, okay, this month I make 20K, but are you able to sustain that in the next month? Can you make 20K same, or it will drop to 10K? And why that happens normally? Because as a CEO, sometimes we get so much busy with day-to-day operations
Yeah.
that we miss out on marketing or sales, right? So the new client stops coming in and you are inside the operations. And
Yeah.
sometimes that can lead to your fluctuations, right, in your bottom line. So scaling also means, do you have a structure? Do you have a system in place that you can have this repeatable income or repeatable cash flow coming in every month, and it doesn't fluctuate too much? So for you to really scale, you need a structure
Mhm.
around, so that you can be more in alignment, so that you can also focus on your creativity. Because if you have a structure, if you have a team, they are doing the task, which creates a lot of noise and distraction for you, they're taking over that from you, then you can be focused, you have more white space to
Mm.
be more creative,
Yeah,
right?
that makes sense to me. So
Yeah.
let's say someone is early on in their entrepreneurial endeavor. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they're that one person doing it
Mm-hmm.
all. They're not having time to do the thing that they created for, their creativity. Like I feel like that would be probably a pretty common early on problem. What does scaling need to look like in the beginning before you can hire the 8 people? What are some of the steps someone could take
Mm-hmm.
to begin?
Yeah. So for the early, like I start new businesses every few months, Katie. Okay, because I'm like, okay, I get started one. I have a system built. It's on autopilot now. I don't have to worry about it. I can start a new thing, because we are all multidimensional, and this is how we are created. We are never going to be in one business. We need to just know this. We are so creative and so visionary, right? God has a plan for you. Until you reach that soul purpose of yourself, you will be doing different kind of business. The way I did, right? I did product business. I have also even created software. I've done many different things until now I'm aligning into my soul purpose, right? So you are going to go through many different kind of ideas, kind of business, testing time, lot of testing time, right? But to answer your question, when you are in that early stage, for me, very important, you need to know who is the right person. You need to figure that out. And sometimes you will not have that answer until you work with few of them. But at least start with someone who is the right person, whom you are the ideal client, the right messaging, not a messaging that is out there, but your own soul voice, right? Right product also. It needs to be not something similar to others, but something which brings your own USP, like your own unique selling proposition. I have many, as you were telling, you know me more, Katie, I feel, like the way you have been explaining me, like all these different things that makes us me, right?
Mm.
Same like with human design, like that can help you to know what are your skills, what makes you unique, right?
Mhm.
Use that knowledge, that self discovery, and to create a product which is unique, which is aligning with your own experience. It's a lived experience. You have gone through it. So you can teach others with confidence. When you come with that, when you have that confidence and conviction, and you have to be really visible. Visibility is important for starting of your client, right? Sometimes you might not have the end product ready, but you can go out there and be visible and choose one channel, whatever you choose, YouTube, podcast, one social media channel, whatever it is, but you have to be consistent. It's all about consistency at the start, because it takes 3 years of being consistent, doing the work, and then really getting that following and finding those soul clients, right? Who
Mm.
are ready to, you need to meet people when they are ready to work with you.
Yeah.
To find those find those people, you need to start to be visible out there. And but your visibility can't be like, oh, this works for this person, so it will work for me. No, it has to be more of like you selecting one channel. And eventually, over the period, you should keep on adding different ways of marketing and being more omnipresent.
Mm. Mhm.
right? And really finding places where your ideal clients hang out, right? It could be a meetup, or it could, and you create your own meetup group, maybe. There's so many creative ways, Katie. Whatever works, like once you have that first client, that's your confidence.
Yeah. Well, I hear great practical steps. I love that.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like you're alluding to it, but what would you say to someone?
Mm-hmm.
What is the thing that has to change internally before they can go and do those practical steps? 'Cause
Mm.
anyone can go out there and be like, okay, I'm consistently posting on social media, but if they don't have that, whatever that internal shift, how would you describe that piece of it?
Mm. You have to 100% believe
Mm,
because it will show up.
yeah.
Like right now, if I don't 100% believe in what I teach, what my team does, like the trust I have with them, like the
Hmm.
confidence I have in their capability of how they can help to scale a business, it's going to show,
Hmm.
right? It's going to show when I talk about it because you have to 100% believe in it and you have to know that this is your calling.
Right.
And there will be many noises, many distractions, maybe your own family saying things to
Mhm.
pull you back. But that's your testing time. Knowing that that's your testing time, then it will not bother you,
Mm.
right?
Yeah. I love that because you can't just pick it, right? You
Mm-hmm.
can't just, oh, I'm gonna go and sell makeup. Like
Mm-hmm.
maybe you could be successful if you have the hustle, but what is that internal reason that like, why am I good at this? And finding that sometimes you just know, but
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times, I think you said this already too. It's sometimes you have to try out a few things. And I always say experiment with it. If you're drawn to it, if it lights you up, go ahead and I guess start the business, right? Go ahead and try it on like a dress in a store and
Mm-hmm.
experiment with it. And if it stops lighting you up, you will have learned something on your
Yeah.
job there and you'll be smarter and wiser. And it's going to get you closer to that thing that you really do have a heart or a calling for. I think that's really neat. Now, I have to take a nerd pause because when you know about messaging, you mentioned, okay, you got to have like, who is my person that I'm trying to help? Like for me, I know that it's this overworked, probably woman who is a high achiever and they feel stuck in a role. Okay. Like
Mhm.
basically the person that I've been. Right. And I know my messaging has to do with feeling seen. I looked up your messaging. I just am curious because you already have done this. So here's what your human design says about things that people get from your messaging. It'd be make sure you're in the flow of life, make sure you stay focused and go ahead and put your energy into what you started, give it a chance. Embrace that ending does happen and that will spur on new beginnings. And then being able to let go of project relationships and careers, knowing that everything somehow is going to still support your growth.
Mm.
So that's what if I were doing your business reading and saying, okay, this is probably something around your messaging. Does that feel aligned? And then how does that apply to the business that you're doing? I mean, especially because you use the word flow, but does that feel like, okay, this is what I landed on because of internally I knew that was true for me?
Oh, yeah. So if you go and look at my social media, maybe my LinkedIn newsletter, Katie, I have this, like my team has their content. Like they already have a library of content that they will post. They can go back to so many different speaking, teaching, and my podcast, and here and there. They can repurpose that, right? But then I know like we can repurpose all that, but then what I'm going through right now at this present moment needs to be out there because that's my evolution,
Right.
right? As a human, as a leader, as a mother, as a what do you call managing team, right? Managing like 8 years back, I did not had a team of eight. I was solopreneur,
Mhm.
right? Now I have team of eight. It's a different kind of leadership bracket you go into, a different kind of mindset shift you have to do, right? So you have to be also present with your content. It has to be a present moment, what you're experiencing in this human body, in this world. And that's where your messaging has to go out. It's like all around your throat chakra opening up, right? I'm going to tell you this real example of a story of my messaging. I did around Mother's Day. I had made this yummy, beautiful cake with all the cake decoration with my daughter. And I did a post around Mother's Day can be celebrated in different ways. We did it together by baking a cake together with our daughter, right? Then I went into like being a boss mama could be like changing a diaper and then looking at a spreadsheet a few minutes later. So I was like going into this, what I was going through. So my messaging is very much what my ideal client will be also going through. And one of my dear friend, she's pregnant, she's going to have a baby in a week. And she's thinking about my business is going to stop because I'm a solopreneur. How? And then I will come back after 3, 4 months. I will not have any business. So she read that message and she booked a call and she became our client. Like my team then she did her all marketing when she was out taking care of baby, be giving the birth, and her business was still running because of my team's help. But she could take that back. She could take that time out and knew that someone was taking care of her, right? For me, as you can see from my post in that LinkedIn newsletter, and then she's reading it, she's finding herself in that, right? And there was this one line, changing diapers and knowing my business is still working, right?
Uh,
And then, so that's how we need to connect our messaging in a way that what is our ideal client, soul client is going through,
Yeah.
right?
Very authentic, you know,
Very authentic. Yes, because
present.
authenticity, yes, because authenticity is magnetic.
Yeah, that's good. So when you see people building their businesses, trying to put themselves out there, especially those heart-centered entrepreneurs, the ones that are like, I'm putting everything on the line. This is my business, my babies. What do you see people avoiding that if they would just have that shift, it could
Mhm.
reduce this overwhelm? I don't know where to start feeling.
Yeah, I always say it's very interesting how that math goes. You do a 1% shift in your marketing, how you attract the leads, 1% shift in your sales conversation, like how you have a show up rate and they sign, and even a 1% change in your operations, right? With this 1% change in any of those can actually impact 3% on your bottom line to
Wow.
increase it. So this is like a proven study. I remember one of my client when she joined, she had a huge following, okay? But she has not monetized them. She
Mhm.
did not know how to monetize them. She has big following. So the 1% shift I did that made her $280,000 in Black Friday with a $297 course.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow.
How she did that? There's only two things I changed. She was one person with one virtual assistant, and she was only communicating them through Facebook Messenger. Okay. So I came in, the change I did, I created a whole marketing funnel. Okay. So a way to capture everyone email, right? Maybe through a lead magnet. And once you capture their email, then you're going to start doing email marketing. And also I came up with like a 3, 4 posts she will be doing during Black Friday. So I did the email marketing, plus I did the social media post she needs to be doing. And and then the third thing I did, a project management, how to keep everyone in her team on same page, right? Like delegating things. And like that was not there. There was no project management, no delegation, because delegation is also very important. So there were all this small shift I did. And she made 280,000 in that 1 week, Katie. And
Wow.
she has done only 15,000 before.
Hmm. Yeah.
So can you, but she had a big following because she was super consistent with her social media. In 1 year of just being super consistent, showing 7 days a week, she had grown her following to 100K.
Wow. Yeah.
But so initial work has to be done by you totally, because visibility, like you need to be consistent. Whatever you pick, you have to be consistent. It's not like one post, two posts, three posts, four posts, and they're like, oh no, I'm not seeing the ROI. But it takes some time for people to build that trust and credibility. So you have to show up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it is encouraging to know you only have to change 1% of what you're doing. It doesn't have to be an overhaul, which is
No.
on brand with what I preach. Like, hey, we're gonna make some shifts without overhauling your life. Let's make it feel good. And
Yeah.
that's very hopeful. And I think it also leads to money, right? People have a lot of like scarcity
Mhm.
thinking and they're scared to talk about money. In my space, spiritual entrepreneurs, oh my goodness, they're like, I can't make money. It's not right, or they have that limiting belief. So, is there a belief about money or leadership that you've learned in your training that
Mhm.
need to unlearn that maybe someone could have okay, this is holding me back when it comes to.
I'm totally going to recommend a book to everyone here. And the book is called The Art of Money.
Mm,
The whole book is written with spirituality, alignment with your body, because there's so many things happening. And it's also how we grew up as women around money, right? We are so empathetic. We are so much heart centered and so led. We are like, we can do it for free, but also know money is energy.
yeah.
Money is your value exchange. And I would say, Katie, I had to learn it by my own. I did not come up like came with a lot of scarcity in mind about money. And also, I knew I have such a good heart. I'm so kind. Like, if I have to charge so high. But what I have learned over the time, and this is what I do in my agency too, like every client who comes to my business, like when they have a sales call with me, I meet them where they are.
Mhm.
That's why in your business, you need to have levels.
Yeah.
They might not be ready to pay you 5,000 per month, but they will get there because of your help.
Mhm.
But until they get there, do you have any different levels
Yeah.
that they can start with? That's why we talk about memberships, which is lower value, or we talk about some kind of like different offerings. Now we are going into offerings, that is going into too details.
Mhm.
But I would suggest, for me, Money Shift had been meeting where my clients are, having that flexibility on payment plans, not making it like, oh, it has to be this much or it has to be this much to make it work. No, if my messaging attracts them to me, that means I have a purpose to serve them. And to serve them, I will meet where they are. Like that's how I do it. And I feel so good with it in my
Yeah.
body, in my mind, and in my soul.
Yeah. I like that. So I have one more question for you on
Mhm.
this track, and it's just that entrepreneur that says, I really want more, but I am scared to burn out again, right? Like,
Mhm.
I'm sure you can relate to this. I know I hold myself back, like, wait, is that hustle? Oh no, get away. But for someone who feels stuck between, I really want more, I want to scale, I want this to grow, whatever it is, but I really I'm not, I don't want to burn out. I'm not willing to hustle. Like, what would you say the next right step is for them?
So, from my own, I'm all about my own life experience, Katie, because I have been in this entrepreneurship world for more than a decade now. So, what I will say, when I got like, when I was in those, I was like full time working, right? In my business, helping so many amazing clients, but also you work with different personalities, right? It's many things as an entrepreneurship that can make you burn out, right? It's the different communication, different hard conversation, the working hours, right? Like sometimes you're working in the early morning, sometimes nighttime, because we are working with global team. One of the things I had to go back to, because my body will always tell me,
Mm,
she will tell me like, you are not ready, I will get sick, or I will have more difficult conversations around my family who are not understanding my work, right? So there might different ways it will show up, the burnout, right? What I have learned in my own process is to have healthy boundaries. And healthy boundaries means I take on projects that brings me profit, that is peaceful, that makes bring peace to me, and that's purposeful. So my decisions are based on those three P's.
mm,
Okay. And then also, I make sure I eat healthy. I take care of my vessel, which is supporting me. And also, I have a way to connect to the whatever you call it, divine, God, faith. I have way to connect. I have a way to like always be connected to them. I have my body, mind, soul. I'm always grounded, right? If I take care of all that, my mind, body, soul, every day, because at any point I lose that, I feel burnout. It all goes back to basic taking care of yourself, loving yourself, self worth, self love, right? If I take care of myself, if I have boundaries, like I will not allow, like now I had some situation in my family, like it's like all the masculine have failed me, who are like in their wounded. And I had a really hard conversation with one of my family member and they crossed their boundary. They were super disrespectful. They were so hurtful. I had to put a boundary. I'm like, hey, I can't have your energy in my field. You have to sometimes do hard things to make sure you align with your boundaries. And when you have that, make sure you put that in your agreement with your clients too. Like, this is my boundary. I work 9 to this, whatever time. You can reach me at this hours. Put more boundaries in your agreement too,
Yeah. Well, and that goes
right?
back to what you were saying, like structure creates the freedom.
Yes.
Structure is there to support you, not to imprison you. So
Yes. Oh,
really,
yeah. I love it. Thank you for bringing that together. But yes, like that's how we are so multidimensional. We are just doing so many things at a time. If I don't put boundaries, have boundaries, I don't take care of my soul, body, mind, like I feel burnout, right? Regardless of whether I worked on business or not, I will feel burned.
solid advice. And it can be that simple. Yeah, that's beautiful. So two more things. One, is there anything that you are hoping to talk about today that maybe fits into our conversation that maybe doesn't? That you want to
Mhm.
share about your business? You can tell us about your freebie or anything coming up for you as well.
Yeah, I would suggest like what we just ended with in the last one, which was like structure brings flow, right? Now, the structure could be around your business. Structure could be also how you run your own personal lives, like your home life. Structure could be any part because everything is impacted by each other in our life. So, I have this amazing gift for you all. It's actually something I sell on Etsy, and I just give it for free whenever I'm on podcast because it's such a beautiful gift. And I follow it to the T, and it actually brings so much structure in my life. It reduces all the noise. I'm able to delegate all the noise. I am automating any distractions and then really elevating myself by focusing on the things that lights me up. If I have to think about an example, that would be like asking my assistant to go and check for like I actually told her yesterday, like, hey, figure out some of the awards that we can apply to, right? So I could do it by myself. I could probably have AI do it, but then I will delegate that to my team to do it. And then they will that they will do it. So I don't have to focus on that energy. I can focus on that energy, maybe going and doing a sales conversation or going on a podcast like this, right? Where I really shine. I love it. Another example would be automate. Automate would be because I use my AI bot amazingly. Like I save around 150 hours every month
Oh,
by my AI. Like it makes all my decisions because it's trained on me. It's like a different Priyanka in AI.
yeah.
So I have been training it for so many years. So I save time like that. I automate. I like today I did that. Like I was doing something. I wanted to like just I took a whole story of mine, Katie, for last 20 years and I put it in AI. And then I asked it to create all the content for my team to leverage all my stories
Neat.
and what are the lessons. So, and AI did that for me. It probably created all like a whole year of content. So it was just like we can automate like that, right? Now I don't have to sit and like if I try to do that manually, oh my God, it will take ages for me to complete that. So that tool is going to help you. It's a workbook. So just sit down, audit your life, audit your personal life, what you can delegate, what you can automate, what you can delete, and then what you have to keep to yourself. Because there's some part which lights you up, like coming on a podcast like this for me. So yeah, that's the gift I have for
Exciting.
everyone.
Thank you.
And regarding my business, like it's called Synergy. It's a scaling and operations agency where we meet the CEO or the businesses where they are. And we provide the whole backend operations and marketing support. Like my team is great at funnels, website, tech, automation, marketing, like advertising, like they can do all kind of things. And my whole team is from Philippines. And interestingly, Katie, when my team was formed, I did not have to go and hire anyone. They all got attracted to me. I feel it's our energy, which puts out there. And my whole team is spiritual. So they do their own healing events in Philippines, which is amazing. So it's very spiritual oriented team. And we truly love and care for each of our clients. And it shows up in everything they do. And I just fully trust them. I'm not there micromanaging because I know who they are in their heart.
Yeah, beautiful. Well, this last question or experience that I have for you is, the people that come on to this podcast, usually there's a reason, someone that needed to hear this. So I just wonder if you'd be willing to take just a quiet moment, take a deep breath, and see if anything comes to you, something related or not related, that a message for our listeners, something that you feel like needs to be said, or just something that you've learned, and whatever comes to you will be exactly right.
Yeah. So what I felt was like, your soul has a calling.
Mm.
She's here for a reason. And she has been in every lifetime. And maybe this is your last time in this lifetime, because every soul has a journey that it needs to follow. So it's so important to find that calling and to fully trust that you are meant for this, and to make sure you protect it. So that's what came, Katie.
Beautiful. Thank you. And such an important message of there's more. There's more than what we see. So thank you for sharing that. Thank you for all of your wisdom, for taking the time to share with our audience. And I will link your gift up and the information about your business. And yeah, and just, I'm so glad we got to meet. Is there anything else that you have for us?
Yeah, the gift actually, if you are listening and not going, like the gift actually, they can just go to getyoursop.com.
Okay.
Get your SOP, like SO and then P as in peacock. So getyoursop.com, and they can find it too. So it's very easy to find it.
Perfect.
That's it, Katie. But thank you so much for having me. This was so great. I learned so much more about me, Katie.
Oh, I love it. I love when that happens too. Thank you. Awesome. Thanks to our listeners for listening to the end of this episode. So appreciate you. I hope that you gained some wisdom for yourself. And whenever you listen, I want you to come over to our community page on Facebook and join in our conversation starter that happens every Friday. Can't wait to hear from you there. And if you have questions for myself or Priyanka, there is a Google form that you can fill out. And my promise to you is that we will answer your question in a future podcast. All right. Thanks. Have a great week.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Inspired by Design with Katie Rupert. If today's episode sparked something in you, I'd love to hear about it. Share your takeaways, subscribe, or even leave a review to help others find the show. For more tools and insights, visit my free Facebook group. And until next time, keep embracing exactly who you are and move forward one inspired action at a time.